congratulations to you
Thank
both
you.
for making this really interesting and unusual story. Of course, I found this topic very, I would say, fascinating because, you know, it talks about memories and how memories can be distorted. James, your character he's a bit of a train wreck.
Yeah.
But as always, you make him likable. Did you get a chance to talk to Stephen Elliott?
Sure. You know, I optioned the book, I guess 7 years ago. So I've known Stephen for that long. After I optioned the book, he asked me to be in his movie about Cherry. And because I was grateful that he gave me the rights, I said, sure, I'll be in your movie about pornography and everything. So yeah, I've gotten to know him a bit over the years, yeah.
And he's currently reside in New York, or is Stephen Elliott reside in New York?
I think he's in New York, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds very interesting guy. And Pamela, I think memories can be very complicated. What kind of research did you do before start making this film?
I'm really fascinated by memory. It's kind of a recurring theme in a lot of the film work I've done. And my undergrad degree is in psychology, and so I'm interested in it in a very intellectual, literary way, and I'm also really interested in it in how it relates to cinema. I think, you know, often in movies we get taken back in time in this really gentle way where there's some period music and a nice fade in, and you see people in period clothing, and there's sometimes a title that says, you know, you're in 1960s Dallas. And that's not at all the way that memory feels to me. I have no way of knowing how it feels to other people, but to me it's like, you know, someone says or smells or, you know, looks like a person from your past, and all of a sudden you have this flash. And so it's, you know, it's fragmented, it changes over time. It's this really slippery thing to grasp, but it's so important to us. You know, there's so much of our identity and the way that we operate in the world that's based on what happens to us. And so we're sort of always trying to grasp this thing that is foundational but is also very tricky.
And I'm just curious about Stephen, the character that you play in this movie. Was it because his memories got distorted? I'm just curious, was it because he had not so good of a childhood, so he kind of like create this interesting memory that he wants to believe that's what that would happen to him, instead of, you know, if he had maybe a better upbringing or a beautiful relationship with his father, then maybe his memory's not so distorted.
Who knows what actually happened? I mean, I think that's one of the things that the movie, one of the subjects the movie raises, that who knows if it's Stephen's version, if it's the father's version, if it's a different version altogether. That's what the movie kind of shines a light on, is that we change things, and often it's not conscious, or, you know, that we all tell ourselves different versions of our, you know, our own history, sometimes to alleviate pain or to deal with, you know, a difficult past, and oftentimes it just, you know, we're just prone to, you know, I think we're all, to, you know, a certain extent, more or less, to tell our version of things with where we're the sympathetic hero at the center. But, you know, even villains in the world, you know, that most people that most people would call villains, I'm sure they have their own, you know, heroic version of their own events that, you know, doesn't cast them as the villain.
Well, great job.
Thank
And
you.
hope to see you both again on the next great film.